Teachers here, and welcome to the part 2 of how to teach present perfect for the first time to your students. So if you haven't seen my face before, this is Smiley Teacher, and if you want to stick around for interesting activities that I have prepared, please make sure that you have subscribed. Okay, so let's get started. So if you have watched the first part of this video is about all of the stages that we are going to take our students in, and I have just didn't cover the freer activity for this speaking that I am going to explain it in this video. I forgot to explain it in the first video that this activity and this lesson plan is PPP. So PPP is a kind of lesson shape, and if you are interested in the lesson shapes, I'm gonna make some videos about the different types of lesson shapes. The idea behind this video is taken from Ellen Show. I will put one of the links from Ellen Show here. So basically she invites celebrities in her show and she asks some juicy questions from them, and she will give them some sign, and she also keeps one for herself. So she usually starts the question with never have I ever. I have also prepared all of these questions, like you can print them out for yourself, between 10 to 20 questions that you can start them, and you can give one sign to each student. You can give the color that they want. I'm gonna explain that how did I make them. They are different from one another. This one is handwritten. For the first time I made them. Actually, for the first time I made this one. This one is made with a plastic straw, which is not a good one. But later on I have made them with paper, and I have been using them for 3 years. They are perfectly standing up, and they're double-sided. You can use a colored paper, which is more interesting for the students, and also I keep one for myself. So I'm gonna start the lesson like that. Not lesson, we have already started the lesson, the activity. I'm gonna keep one of them for myself. I'm gonna read the question and start with never have I ever. For example, I'm gonna ask, never have I ever lost my cell phone. They're gonna show I have or I have never. So what is the first benefit of this game? If a student said I have, you can encourage the student to explain more. So this is the first benefit of this game, which is they are going to speak out about the experience that they had, and you're gonna laugh, and you can just enjoy the experience in the class. So the other benefit that I would say you have, if you have noticed, and if you have taught present perfect before, you have noticed that the students cannot come up with the correct answer. For example, when you ask them, have you ever been to China? They cannot use this language, which is I have or I have never or I haven't. They usually come up with I didn't or I don't. So by repeating and repetition and this game, the answer that is going to be I have or I have never, it will stick to their mind and they can memorize it forever. So this is the second benefit that I would say. And the last benefit that I'm done and I ask all of my questions from them. As an example, right now it is time for them to produce their own questions. So my groups are usually between 6 to 8. I put them in different groups and I ask them to come up with their own questions. So this is the last benefit maybe that I would say that we can have it in our class. You can give them some paper and you can ask them to come up with their own question with never have I ever. and they are going to ask the questions from the other group. So what is your role right now? So the role that you have as a teacher is to have distant monitoring. You don't need to tell them the question. You can just have your monitoring and make sure that they are using the language. So this opportunity that we have as the teacher, that is our role. When they are making the question, they're going to play, we are not going to play with them anymore. So in this stage we are going to be prepared for the last stage that I have explained in my previous video, which was about giving the feedback. So for this part of the activity, when they are asking the questions from each other, and you can even encourage them to explain the situation, and this is the time that you are going to take notes from the correct and incorrect sentences for the delayed feedback that you are going to give them, and like 10 or 15 sentences, and try to also take notes from the correct sentences, because we are there to also encourage them. So when the game was over and the groups have asked the questions from each group, each students, and right now it's the time for the delayed feedback, and you are going to write the correct and incorrect questions and the sentences that they have produced on the board, on the whiteboard. So you are going to write them, and then you are going to ask them to help you how to correct the sentences. And if the sentences were correct, you just take them, and if it was incorrect, or about the grammar, about the maybe the word, maybe the tense, you're going to underline it and ask them to help you to correct the sentences. I hope that this video was helpful as well. If you want to see more video like this one, if you want to have interesting activities in your classes, you can subscribe and try to find other activities in my channel. I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.